All right, so let's see this question now, pattern search, right? So over here we are given two strings, S and P, right? And we need to find if this pattern P is present in the string S or not, right? So for example, if you see ABCD, then ABCD is present over here, ABCD, and it is also present over here, ABCD, right? So we just need to return the starting index of the first occurrence of this pattern in this string, right? So for example, over here, the starting index of the first occurrence of this pattern is 4, so I will just return 4, right? So that's what I need to do. And also, like, it is already given in the question that S and P can only contain lowercase characters, right? So I also don't have to worry about the case, right? So that's it. That's about the problem statement. Now maybe you can pause this video and try to think of a solution, and once you are done, maybe you can just come back and check the solution here, right? So now to solve this particular equation, what we can do is we can have two pointers, right? So one pointer will be pointing to the 0th index of the string S, and then the other pointer will be pointing to the 0th index of pattern P, right? And then let me just write it over here so that you can able to visualize, right? Right? And then what I can do is I can just keep iterating over the string S, right? By incrementing the I pointer by one each, right? So I will just keep iterating over the S string, right? And I will keep going till I actually find a match like S of I becomes equal to P of J, right? That means I encounter a character over here in string S which matches the uh, the first character of pattern P, right? And that's where I will just increment my J pointer now, right? To the next character in pattern P, right? And I will also like increment as usual, I will increment the I pointer also, right? And then again, I will check if my S of I is now equal to P of J or not. If it is, then again, I will move both my pointers to the right. And then again, I will check if my S of I is equal to P of J over here or not, right? And I will just keep doing till the length of this pattern itself, right? For example, over here it is 4. So I will keep incrementing till I am finding matches for the entire length of this pattern. And once I've exhausted all the characters, that means that, the pattern P is actually present over here, and I can return the starting index wherever, I first found the match over here, right? The first character where I was able to match that index, I can just return, right? That will be the starting index of the first occurrence of this pattern in the string S, right? So that's what we can do. Maybe we can just take an example. For example, to start with, both I and J will be at 0. So J will be pointing over here, and let me use a laser over here. Yeah. So I will be pointing over here and J will be pointing over here, right? Now, if you see, I will check in the first iteration if my S of I is equal to P of J or not, right? They are equal. So that means I will just increment my J pointer and I will also increment my I pointer, right? Now I will again check if my S of I equal to P of J. Yes, it is. So I will move the J pointer to C. I will also move the I pointer over here to C. Again, my S of I equal to P of J. So then again, I will move the I pointer to E now and J pointer to D. And now if I check S of I equal to P of J, it will be false. So now what I will do is I will I will reset back my J pointer to 0th index, right? Again, it will be pointing to A, and what I will do is the I position, the I pointer, I will you know reinitialize to this particular index now, right? Because see, I found a first match, the first character match over here, right? But then I could not find a valid pattern match entirely using this particular starting index, right? So now I will have to go back and start from here, right? And then again, I will check if my S of I equal to P of J. It is not. Then I will again move my I pointer to the right. Now I will check if S of I is equal to P of J. It is not. Again, I will move to the right and I will keep doing this. And finally, whenever I get an entire match, the way I just discussed, so then I will just return the starting index from wherever that pattern match got initiated, right? So that's the entire idea behind this particular question. And now maybe just let's jump to the ID and code this particular solution together. All right, so let's implement the solution that we just discussed. So what I will do is I will declare a function over here. I will name it as search, right? And then it will accept two strings, P and S, right? Like this. And then what I will do is I will take the length of this S in N1 and the length of P in n2, right? That's what I will do. And then I will declare and initialize my I and j pointer to 0, right? Like this. Also, what I will do is I will declare another variable start pointer, right? Initialize it to 0. And the start variable, what it will hold is, it will hold the starting index of any occurrence that I find of pattern P in string S, right? So that's the purpose of the start pointer. And now what I can do is I can just run a while loop over string S. So I will just keep incrementing my uh, I pointer till the entire length of the string S. And with every iteration, I will just keep checking if my S of I is equal to P of J or not, right? And if it is equal, then what I will check another thing is that if what I just matched, the character that I matched for pattern P, is that the first character of pattern or not, right? So if it is the first character of pattern P, that means if J is equal to 0, right? Then what I will do is I will just reinitialize my start pointer to the current index I, right? Which will indicate that this is the starting of this particular occurrence, right? So that's what I will do if it is the first character of pattern P that I've matched. And then, after I have done this, I will just increment my I pointer by 1, right? And also I will move my J pointer to the next element so that now I can check and match the next element, right? So that's what I will do here. And then what I can do is I can just put the else condition, right? For example, if this particular match was not true for this particular the character at the current index I, then in that case there can be two possibilities. One possibility could be that j is greater than 0. That means the pointer which is pointing at the pattern is actually greater than 0, which would mean that I have, like in the previous characters, I have found some matches, like few characters have matched, but then uh, at this particular character there was not a match, right? And in that case I will have to return my j pointer back to 0 so that I can start all over again, right? So for that I will just put this condition: if my j is greater than 0, then I will take my j pointer back to 0, right? Because I have to start all over again. And also I will just take my I pointer back to start plus 1, right? Because the start variable at any point in time will uh, contain the first index of any occurrence, right? The starting index of any occurrence. So for the current start, you know, variable value, I was not able to find a match completely for the entire pattern, right? So now I will have to check starting from the next index, right? So that's why I will just reinitialize my I pointer to start plus 1, right? And if I will just put a else condition over here. If the j is not greater than 0, it is equal to 0. If it is already at the 0th index, then I won't do anything. I will just increment my I pointer by 1, right? And that's it. Now, what also we need to do is we need to check whenever we exhaust all the characters of pattern P, we need to return, we can like say that, we have found a match, and then we have to return the starting index of that particular occurrence, right? So for that reason, we will just keep checking in the beginning of every iteration if my j is now greater than n2 or greater than or equal to n2 or not, right? If it is greater than or equal to n2, it would mean that I have exhausted all the characters of the pattern P, and I have matched every single character of pattern P with some characters in string S, right? And this would mean that I can now just return this current start index, right? Because start at any point in time, as we know, will hold the starting of any occurrence, right? So that's why I will just return start. And also, like, just imagine a case where my occurrence, like the match of the pattern in string S, happens at the end of the string, right? So my j is matched with the last character of pattern is matched with the last character of the string. Then this would mean that I will never come back in this loop again to check this particular condition, right? And to handle that, I can just do one thing. I can place this outside my while condition at the end, just to check that if there was a match at the end or not, right? Like this. And see, if there was no match at all, then what I can do is I can just return -1, right? That's what I can do. So now maybe we can just test this. this is the solution entirely. And also, like, one more thing we can do. So before even running this entire loop and doing this process, we can check if my length of pattern is greater than the length of the string. In that case, definitely I won't find a match and I can return -1, right? Because my length of the pattern, first of all, has to be lesser than or equal to the length of the string. Only then I can find, pattern inside of string s, right? Otherwise, I can just straight away like return -1, right? So that is one corner case. And then what I can do is I can just, okay, not this. Let me just copy the sample test cases that we saw while defining this particular question. Yeah, this one, I can just put quotes over here and here, right? And now maybe I can just call this particular search function with these two parameters, right? P comma S, right? Now if I run this, my output should be 4, right? Because at the fourth index, I have this pattern P present in string S, right? So that's what I will do. Let me expand this, run this again. Yeah, so I get 4 as my output, right? Now let's talk about the time complexity and space complexity real quick. So what we are doing over here is essentially we are just scanning over the entire length of string S, right? And in the worst case, for every character in string S, we might have to go through all the characters of pattern P as well, right? So that would mean that we might end up with a worst time complexity of order of m into n, m being the length of string p and n being the length of the string s, right? If both of the string s and p have length of the order n, then the time complexity will be order of n square, right? So in the worst case, you can consider that this particular algorithm will have a time complexity of order of n square, right? And also talking about the space complexity, since we are not using any extra space over here, so the space complexity will be order of 1, right? So that's it about this particular question, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.